And then yesterday morning, I had to drive to Soshanguve to interview the sister of that other young girl. The other girl it's said she's pregnant, and she is being pregnanted by her father. I then went there to interview the sister so that I can get the gist of the story on what exactly is happening there. When I got there, I discovered that the situation is worse, because that girl, she ran away from home at a very early young age, and she was trying to make ends meet, staying with boyfriends, and she got a baby. That baby, she's 6 months old. And yesterday, that girl was telling us that, in fact, the father came to the place where she's staying with the boyfriend, and she said to the boyfriend, in fact, that child is mine, is not yours. Then the boyfriend, the boyfriend shut that girl out of his house. The girl then went to the street. She's staying somewhere far, far, far. You drive as if you are going to Rustenburg. And then it's I don't know what do they call that area. We went there, we found her there. You could see that it's a serious social problem. She told us yesterday that she doesn't want that six months old baby. She wants that baby to be taken for adoption, because there's nothing that she can do, because already if the father came and claimed that the child is his, and she thought she knows, she says the father of the baby is the boyfriend, and the boyfriend is no longer looking after the child, and then it's a long story. Then the young girl, who is 16 years old and pregnant, the father has locked her inside the house, so she can't go out. So what we have done, late in the evening, in the afternoon, I then called the deputy chair, Dr. Ntabiseng, because your chair was in a meeting, Africa something. And then I called Dr. Ntabiseng. I said, no, you guys, you are not assisting our people. I want to see what is it that you're doing on behalf of.
No.
The people who are dealing with ICT, they must not mute me. You can mute all honorable members except myself. Kashifa.
Chair.
Who's responsible for IT?
We'll check on the side who's been assigned.
That person must not mute me.
I will check whether it's a reception on your side or what the issue is. I'll revert to you on the side.
Here it's not like Eastern Cape. The network is not a problem. That was on a lighter note. What is it doing with my mic now? So today, and then so Dr. Ntabiseng was trying to help me. And then later on, when we were done, the chair called us, and then we gave her the briefing that this is how we've worked up to so far. And then today in the morning, yesterday night, I also requested the chair to assist the girl, and because there was no food, nothing. So the chair today went there in the morning, again with the girl that was, who reported the matter to myself, who brought the matter into my attention. And the chair went there today to deal with the whole issue. She also informed the social workers. And then now, Chairperson, I called the social worker because Lerato was not getting joy from the social worker. Then I said she must give me the phone number of the social worker. Then I called the social worker. I said, oh, I introduced myself, and I asked her, how far is she with the issue now? Because we are going to start our meeting. Because I was afraid that they will, because you are going to a meeting, they won't attend to the matter. So I called her, and then she told me that chair, they got the young girl. They are taking the young girl to the clinic for medical checkups, and then she will brief me on the progress. So that's how far the issue is. So thank you very much, Chairperson Tamara, for whatever you've done today, because really, this is what we need. We need you to respond as agent as much as you can. Because we have seen that our women don't get joy in the police stations. And you know what is even worse, there are many cases like this. It's not the only case, this one that I'm talking about. Women during lockdown, they were saying some police stations were closed. They are saying some, they don't get warrant officers who are willing to help them in the police stations. Some of the warrant officers, they want to negotiate on behalf of the perpetrators. So they are being taken from pillar to posts, which is a problem. So that's why I wanted to raise all these things in my opening remarks, because it means when you do your monitoring, these are some of the things that you need to look at. But also, I think what is important, you need to look at this secretariat meeting of provinces, where the police and the but my researchers were telling me that there are those meetings that are sitting, I don't know whether it's monthly or what, so that you go there and voice out the frustrations that women are faced with. Because if there's no one who's advocating for them, that means even the statistics that we're getting from the police, it's not the actual statistics of cases that they have registered. Most of the cases, they are not registered because women are being turned away by the very same warrant officers, which it's a problem. The call center, the command center that they are saying, the National Command Center, there's also a concern on whether they are reporting the calls that they received, or they are reporting incidents which they have attended to. So the statistics of the police and the statistics that is given by social development, also, I'm not sure whether it's accurate or there's a gap somewhere, somehow. So I just wanted to raise these things that I think what we need to do is to focus on Tshwane, because that's where the problem is at Tshwane. They say there are many cases. I said to them, I'll meet with them over the weekend again, so that I can meet all those groups of women who are dealing with these cases every day. They are saying in Soshanguve, Hammanskraal, it's like something is happening there. Nobody is knowing what is happening, but they are saying it's like there's something like a cult where people they believe that when you sleep with your own child, you'll be able to make more money. So these are some of the things that I said I'll come over the weekend and meet with them, so that I get to understand exactly the stories. Because sometimes when we are sitting in our meetings, we think, you know, things are running very well, everything is okay. But from the experience of the weekend, I have seen that we've got a big challenge. Issues of GBV and femicide is worse. One girl is murdered by the boyfriend and got banned. So even that, the family, I'm not even sure assisting that family. Whether the police have assisted the family to open the case, I'm not sure. So I just wanted to raise these few things. You may find that even in other provinces, the other day, Honorable Mgweba raised an issue where in Eastern Cape, in one of the villages, she was saying old people, they are being raped by young boys of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 in the Eastern Cape. And I'm sure even now, I cannot confidently say to you that issue has been dealt with, because even the Deputy Minister of Small Business raised that issue with me. And I said, no, this is a sickness. It can't be correct that old people are being raped by abazukulu, because those are abazukulu. So it tells you that issues of gender-based violence and femicides, I mean, we don't even know whether some of them are being killed by these small boys or what is happening. We don't know. So I'm sure in your deployment, I think we need to change the way we work. We must not work as business as usual. We must work differently, do things differently, so that we help our people. Our people are crying for help. Mm-hmm. They need all of us to work as a team. All of us. Yeah. So I'm sure moving forward after our today's meeting, we'll have to communicate. You don't have to fear anything. You can call us. You can call us, honorable members in all provinces. I think there are members that are staying there. Commissioners must be able to also talk to some of the honorable members who are staying there. Mam Kawula, most of the time she will raise these things with me, and I will say, Mam Kawula, but abantu bayagula. But when I saw it live, hey, these things are real, I was like shocked. I was shocked. I felt like we've failed our people. We're not doing enough. And we're expecting too much from you as CGE, because we thought, Dr. Tlaleng, you are there, you've got Dr. Ntabiseng, you've got Advocate Ntabiseng and another Ntabiseng, we've got Mama Zibugo, we've got Bob Botha, who's dealing with the men and boys. I'm not even sure whether in your own analysis and assessment, you can confidently say your organization, your job that you're doing is making an impact. Because we must measure impact vis-a-vis what you are doing. Because if we're not able to measure what you are doing, and then that's a problem, because we can't have programs like we are doing talk shows. Mute.
Chair, your mic is muted again.
Sabotage.
Chair, we can't hear you. Quiet.
Ubani lo muntu ayithimba rabathi bamdimu. Kashifa.
Yes, Chair, I've checked with IT and they've indicated that they can't mute your mic. It would only be the person who's organized. So I'll check with Lineliswa.
But this person keeps muting me.
It's definitely not IT, Chairperson.
It's who?
We just need to check whether it's a network issue.
Sabotage.
So I think, today you see me, I look better today. The chair can tell you I was not looking like this. And because I was very deeply hurt. So, Mam O'Hara and Tabiseng advocate, Babu Botha, Chairperson Tamara. Who else is residing in Gauteng? Those
Nongason.
you, Mrs. Nomasonto, please, we need to deal with Swane as a matter of agency. There's a very serious problem. But thank you very much for the interventions of the chairperson and the deputy chair. Thank you very much. We can now move to I've declared the meeting officially open. Can we move to apologies? The agenda is before you. Do you have the agenda? Did they send the agenda to you?
Yes, they did send the agenda, Chairperson. We have it.
I'm asking the commissioners. Mam O'Hara, nina agenda.
Chairperson, mhlamba ngibonanga kahle.
Okay, agenda iti opening and welcome. Apologies. Briefing by ECGE on your AAPP 2020 to 2021 and your strategic plan for 2020 to 2024. And then after that, it's discussions and question seeking, clarity seeking questions and way forward and closure. Honorable members, I believe all of you do have the agenda. Sister Ngiyabonga ukuthi laba bantwana namhlanje banokudla because you were there. If you didn't go there, bebazohlala ngendlala. Nokuthi ingane namhlanje ithola usizo because you went there. Ngiyabonga no Dr. Ntabiseng. Moliko, thank you very much for your interventions. Do we have any apology? We don't have any apology, ne?
Good afternoon, Chair. It's Nelly Swa. I have not received any apologies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. From the commissioners? I think all of you are here because I even see Diko namhlanje. Ngagcina nge-interview, Baba. Okay, if there are no apologies, you can then hand over to the chairperson, Chairperson Matebula. It's difficult to hold meetings like this, ne?
We'll learn. We will learn.
Okay. Okay, over to you, Chairperson.
Okay.
Good evening, Chairperson, and thank you very much for the opportunity. Honorable Chair, Honorable Whip, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee on Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities, on behalf of the Commission for Gender Equality, I send the Honorable Chairperson and the members greetings, wishing you all safe and healthy living during these trying times brought by the COVID-19 epidemic and the subsequent lockdown. I'm accompanied by my fellow commissioners. I hope all of us are here, and 11 of us. And I'm also accompanied by the Secretariat, CEO as well as CFO. I did not see CEO, but I saw CFO's face. I hope they are both here. So I wouldn't go and introduce all of them one by one, Chair. I think in the interest of time, I believe you have the names of all the 11 commissioners here today. Chair, we would like to extend our appreciation for being invited to come and present to the Portfolio Committee. The Commission is today presenting the Commission's strategic plan 2019-2024, It's a long-term vision that we are presenting here today. We will be presenting the annual performance plan as well as the budget that has been proposed for the current financial year 2020-2021. Both the APP as well as the budget has been presented to various CGE's oversight committees, because we have our own internal committees that look at policies, that look at strategies, that look at APPs and budgets. And there are approvals that take place internally before these documents go out and be shared with the honorable members in Parliament. So these have gone through the Strategic Plan Monitoring and Evaluation Team Committee. We also subjected the budget as well as our plans to the Finance Committee, which we call FinCom, and subsequently approved by the plenary of the commission that set on the 26th March 2020. So plenary is like our own lekgotla internally. So we approve policies at that lekgotla. So these documents that we are presenting here today, Chair, are actually documents that have been approved internally on the 26th of March, just before we closed. The invite, Chair, that comes in to the Commission, it comes at a time when we are all decrying the disturbingly high levels of human rights violation, gender-based violence, domestic violence, femicide, which is killing of women, and abduction, killing of innocent women, young and old, as you indicated earlier, Honorable Chair, including children that get violated and killed in our country during this time. The coronavirus crisis is unprecedented, we all know that, and there is evidence of deepening gender inequalities, increasing domestic and gender-based violence, and reversing the gains that have been made in the past 2 decades. The President of the Republic of South Africa and the Chair of the AU, the Chair of the Portfolio Committee, yourself, Honorable Chair, as well as the Commission, have made several statements and announcements in response, calling for innovative ways of addressing the scourge. Honorable Chair, today we are presenting our 5-year strategic plan. We are presenting our annual plans, our budgets before you, in accordance to the CGE Act number 39 of 1996 as amended. If you specifically go to section 15 of our CGE Act, the Commission must or may subject to the provision of the subsection 2 of the Commissioner's Handbook, it shall present to the Parliament the plans that we have developed internally. So we are following our Act and we are following our CGE Handbook in terms of presenting our plans, presenting our planned activities, presenting our achievements as well as our objectives. And it also further indicates that the President shall cause such report to be tabled promptly in Parliament, provided that the Commission may at a time submit any other report to the President and Parliament as well. So this requirement, Chair, of reporting and presenting our plan is in accordance to the accountability part, which we all aspire as the Commission, and it's also in line with the Public Finance Management Act, which is the PFMA Act of 1999. And if you look at that Act, it further states that we should actually present our budgets as allocated on an annual basis. We are also coming before you, Honorable Chairperson and members, to actually present these in accordance to the King 3 as well as the King 4 17 principles on sound corporate governance. And these are actually making sure that we further cast a focused lens on balancing performance evaluation towards achieving the desired good governance outcomes, therefore articulating the benefits of good corporate governance, which the Commission aspires to attain. Honorable members, by way of introduction, we know who CGE is. We were created as a Chapter 9 institution, as a statutory body, in accordance to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Act 108 of 1996. And our constitutional mandate is nothing else but to promote, protect, and monitor gender equality in the country. The Constitution further states that the Commission for Gender Equality has the power, as regulated by the national legislation, to monitor, investigate, research, educate, lobby, advise, and report to Parliament through this committee on issues concerning gender equality. Further, the Commission follows the Act number 39 of 1996, which is the CGE Act as amended, which gives the Commission more powers or further powers to evaluate policies, evaluate practices of organs of state at all levels, statutory bodies and functionaries, private sector and institutions to promote gender equality and make any recommendations that CGE deems necessary or fit. The Commission, therefore, Chair, is mandated to monitor the implementation of not only the national policies and practices, but those of